Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, are you there?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 23 CCR 236917, State of Texas versus Nellis Pichardo. If I could have the interpreter raise his right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly and accurately translate from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English, so help you God.
I do.
Very good. All right, we're going to take this slow. Every 2 or 3 sentences, Mr. Gonzalez, if you would pause to allow the interpreter to conduct the interpretation.
Yes, sir.
Señor González, cada 2 o 3 frases, por favor, pare para que se pueda permitir la interpretación.
Okay. Proceed,
Judge,
Mr. Gonzalez, with your motion.
Judge, in my motion, I filed a motion to reinstate bond. My client had lost her reset. She called me the day after her court date and asked me, when is my court date? I said it was yesterday. And that was...
Su señoría, la razón que estoy aquí es para hacer una nueva llamada de la fianza. Ella, el día que quiso poder usarla, no pudo.
I filed a motion to reinstate her bond. That was on, I appeared to reinstate her bond, but I was told that she would have to file a motion to reinstate bond. She had already paid the amount.
Fui indicado de que tenía que hacer una restitución de la moción para poner de vuelta la fianza.
She had already paid the $300 to be admitted into the retail theft diversion program, which she was accepted into.
Ella recibió ya puso de vuelta los $300 que era lo que necesita hacer para ingresar dentro del programa especial de no estar involucrado por robos.
She had done everything necessary except sign the contract.
Hizo todo lo necesario excepto haber firmado el contrato.
I sent her to the district attorney's office on Tuesday.
La mandé a la fiscalía el día martes
to sign the contract.
Para firmar el contrato.
She was told she could not sign the contract.
Se le dijo que no podía firmar el contrato
because she had missed her court date.
Porque ella no se había presentado el día de la audiencia.
I chased it down and I spoke to the first assistant, Ibrahim Khawaja.
La asistí y hablé con la persona Ibrahim Khawaja.
And I discussed with him the facts and the circumstances of my client's admission in the retail theft program.
Y hablé de las circunstancias que fue con respecto a la readmisión al programa de está robando.
And he had informed me that he would have no problem in accepting her still in the retail theft program.
Y me dijo él de que no tenía ningún problema readmitirla dentro del curso de este curso numerado.
And the reason for that being is that she did not intentionally miss court, but just did not remember what the date was.
Por el hecho de que ella no fue intencional no haberse presentado al tribunal, corte, pero fue solamente el hecho de que no se recordó que fue el día que tenía que presentarse.
And after explaining to Mr. Khawaja that she had done everything that she could immediately after knowing that she did not appear in court.
Sabiendo que no se había presentado al corte, ella hizo todo lo que necesitó hacer.
And as a result of that, Mr. Khawaja said he had no problem with her going back into the retail theft program, Judge. And that's why we're asking for reinstatement of her bond.
Entonces,
and then
por eso estamos pidiendo que haya una restitución del caso, por eso estamos aquí, porque él dijo no haber tenido ningún problema.
and have her continue completing the retail theft program, Judge.
y continuar haciendo el programa.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. State.
Gracias, señor González. Estado. I'm sorry, I did not hear the very.
Is your microphone on, Counselor?
From what I hear on our side, the state side, because the defendant failed to appear in court, the retail diversion,
Por lo que yo escucho por la parte del Estado, el hecho de que no se presentó el día del tribunal,
the retail diversion program offer was withdrawn. I have no record of the conversation with the first assistant. What
yo
I
no tengo
have-
ninguna expediente que refleje, pero el programa fue retirado.
But I do have record of Ms. Flores speaking with Stacy Carr, our deputy chief, about withdrawing the offer.
Y yo sé que habló con el jefe con respecto al retiro de la oferta de poder hacer.
Judge, as an officer of the court, I am making the representation that I spoke to the first assistant.
Yo voy a hacer como oficial de la corte, voy a decirle que yo hablé con el primer asistente.
And he approved her going back onto retail theft program, Judge.
Y él aprobó que entrara de vuelta en el curso.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, what I'm going to do, I was going through the file while you were speaking, and I noticed that this was the first time your client has missed court. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reinstate this bond, give you some time to discuss with the state whether she's going to continue to be in the retail theft program or not. Y'all can figure that out. I'm going to go ahead.
Yo sé de que he visto el expediente y veo que es la primera vez que la persona ha fallado de no presentarse en el tribunal y por lo tanto voy a restituir la fianza.
She's going to go back on her docket control order, which means her next court date will be March 13th, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.
Marzo 13 del 2025 a las 2 de la tarde, 2 p.m.
2:30 p.m.
A las 2:30 de la tarde va a ser la fecha de que va a tener la audiencia con el juez.
Judge, thank you by that, and I'll inform the court whether she's accepted into the program or we proceed further on the case.
If she is accepted in, you need to contact Sarah.
Not a
Yes.
problem, Judge. Thank you.
Y si es aceptada, va a contactarse por favor con Sara. Gracias a su.
May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Your client can be excused as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Puedo ser retirado, si puede decir, también su cliente puede retirarse. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right. Let's move on. Next case, Shell. Gregory Shell. Client. Sarah, just to verify, is he in the waiting room? Okay. We'll come right back to your case. I'm going to wait to the very end of docket. Joyce Nelson. All right, we're on the record in 24 CCR 239119, State of Texas versus Joyce Tony Nelson. Mr. Ryan, if you would give the court an update on the case. You're muted, Mr. Ryan.
I know people who wish they could just do that to me automatically. Anyway, Judge, I believe discovery is complete. The state and I have begun negotiations on a plea agreement. I suspect this case will plead at the next setting.
Well, if you need a plea date prior to your next setting, contact the court and we'll give you one. Your next setting is on March 27th for a pretrial conference.
And just so Ms. Nelson knows, Ms. Nelson, you do have to appear at the pretrial conference live in the courtroom if we have not already gone and handled your case. Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Oh.
y'all free to go.
I was trying to make sure I can unmute. Thank you, Your Honor.
Barry. Mr. Ryan, seems like we are missing your client, Barry. Heaven Barry.
Yes, Your Honor. I was actually hoping she would come in on this because I would want the court to admonish her. She is always contacting me at the last minute, trying not to have to appear, whether it's in the courtroom or on Zoom or anything like that. She did contact me like 8 o'clock last night, claiming she had no ride. She started again at 10 o'clock this morning, claiming a childcare issue. To be fair, at the time, I believed we had to be live in the courtroom. So, I told her she needed to find a way to court. I did both text, call, and email her at about noon that this was going to be done by Zoom, but this would be the last time she'd be able to appear by Zoom, and I've not heard back from her.
Okay. State. Bailiff.
All right, good. 244, good.
All right, new bond set in the amount of $1,500. Are there any prior bond conditions?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge.
There are.
There are.
She has a no contact provision. She's prohibited from entering the property at Katy Mills Mall, remain within the state of Texas, and no new offenses as well. Those were issued on February 18th, 2024. They shall remain in place.
Yes, Your Honor. And I will try again to reach out to her and at least get her to check in with you before 3:30. I
Okay.
figure your docket's over at that point.
We will be done easily by 3:30, if not 3:15.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right, next case. Sotelo. Make sure your microphone's on. I would face it towards you as well. There you go. All right, we're on the record, 24 CCR 238170, state of Texas versus Felix Sotelo. All right, Mr. Torres, why don't you give the court an update?
Yes, sir. Judge, good afternoon. I've spoken to Mr. Vinson this afternoon. He's conveyed or made an offer to Mr. Sotelo. I did bring it to their attention that I think it probably is going to be modified somewhat, Judge. So once I get that modification of the initial plea offer, I'll convey that to Mr. Sotelo. And Judge, it's my feeling that we're going to have this wrapped up before the next setting, which is March 27th. I'll reach out to your coordinator and get a plea date.
Very good. Thank you for the update, Mr. Torres. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Alvarado. We're on the record in 23 CCR 235362, State of Texas versus Ashley Alvarado. Mr. Sims, would you care to give the court an update on your client's case?
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was just yesterday we were offered an anger management class in exchange for a dismissal. I spoke to my client this morning and she accepts that offer, so I imagine that'll happen in the near future.
How long is the class that she's got to take? Is it? It's not the 12-hour long course, is it?
No, it wasn't even specified, Judge, so I'm assuming any type of class would suffice, so I'm going to encourage her to do it as soon as possible.
All right, thank you for the update. Next court date is March 27th. Let's try to have it wrapped up before then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Y'all are free to go.
Take care. Bye.
LeBay. Move on to the next case, Garcia. All right, Priscilla Garcia, right there. Yeah, right there. We're on the record in 24 CCR 238051, State of Texas versus Priscilla and Garcia. Counselor, give the court an update.
Ms. Garcia is qualified for the Safeguard Child Immersion Program. I've sent an email to Ms. Peggy Bijou for the TRAS. I haven't gotten back any reply yet. I sent another email just earlier today.
You've been dealing with that since November 19th, trying to get her TRAS'd. What's the holdup?
Council also showed me the emails as well, and I consulted my handbook. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary for the email. State can also follow up as well.
The state needs to follow, because I have a note here in the system that he's been dealing with this, trying to get her TRAS since before November 19th. I understand the holidays took place and all of that, but let's follow up with Ms. Bijou, because let's get this case resolved prior to the next setting. I want her either in Safe Start or we need to figure out what's going on. March 27th. Yeah, March 27th. We'll see then. Y'all free to go.
Judge, I'm going to message my client to make sure he turns on his camera.
Mr. Lane, turn your video on, please. Mr. Lane, you need to turn your video on, please.
Judge, is it okay if I mute myself and call him?
That's fine. While we're waiting on that, Mr. Barrientos, Gregory Shell, client here? Okay. No, do I have a motion from the state? Gregory Shell. My bailiff will check for you.
All right, man, 250 be good.
New bond set in the amount of $3,000. Yes, you may. Thank you. All prior bond conditions shall remain in place.
Judge, he said he's trying to get it going. So he said he could hear us talking to him.
Need him to turn his video on. I'm
Yes,
waiting.
sir. Yes, sir. There he is.
1 second.
Hello, hello? Sir?
Mr. Lane, you can mute yourself. We're on the record and 23 CCR 236865 stated Texas versus Andrew Austin Lane. Mr. Rabinovich, can you give the court an update?
Yes, sir. So he, I believe, met with the DWI court people. They have sent us the contract. He has filled it out. He's getting it over to us. I should be able to turn it back in. Hopefully, yeah, that's it right there. So he printed it out. He's going to get me a copy of it so that I can sign it for us and we can get it turned in hopefully Tuesday. You know, I would say tomorrow, but probably more like Tuesday with the holiday on Monday. He has made contact with some of the from the
Officer.
attorney from the program as well. And
Sure.
so it should be going soon. Sorry, Judge.
You need him to repeat.
Happy to start over.
Yeah, Mr. Lane, you need to mute yourself, okay?
Oh, mute? Okay.
Yes, mute yourself, Mr. Rabinovich, because Mr. Lane spoke up. It had a glitch or it cut you off for a second.
No worries, Judge.
And get everything down. So why don't you repeat what you stated?
Yes, sir. So he has met with the DWI court, I guess, supervisors. He has been invited entry into the program. They have provided us with the contract and agreement. Mr. Lane has printed it out and has signed it. He doesn't have a way of scanning it, but he's going to bring it to my office for us to be able to sign it and get it turned in. With the holiday Monday, I would imagine it's going to be Tuesday. He has made contact with Radhika, Dave from DWI Court. I know he's spoken with some of the other people that are involved. So we are moving along, trying to get him going through the program, Judge.
Okay. All right. Once you have him entered into the program, notify my coordinator so we can properly transfer the case over.
Absolutely, Judge.
Okay.
Hopefully by the end of next week.
Sounds good. Thank you. You and your
Thank
client.
you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring in LeBay. Have you received any notice from Mr. Lane? Have y'all received any notice from Mr. Lane? Mr. LeBay, have you heard from your attorney?
No, sir, I have not.
Yeah, he is not present in the Zoom waiting room.
Okay.
We have held your case to the very end of docket just to see if he would show up. He has not. So that being said, and by the way, we've received no notice from him either that he's not going to appear today. I'm going to pass your hearing today. Your next hearing date is March 27th at 9 a.m. And that is an in-person docket where you are expected to appear in person in my courtroom. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. I
You're
understand.
free to go.
All right, thank you.
That's 2 dockets in a row in that case. He didn't appear. Well, that concludes our docket. Quick and easy.